እንኳን ወደ አዲስ ከተማ ቻናል በሰላም መጣችሁ። Comparing user document phrase with current system. Make sure the facts as start in the document are correct, helpful, and on topic. To do a technical accuracy view, you really need to know your subject matter probably as well or better or than the original authors. User whatever other documentation is available for your subject, including program documentation, other printed book its. You may also use manual lists on the topic, asking for the third party to review your certain fact of which you are in doubt. Language review, because written came from all type of background. There may be problems within the text that need to be fixed. It's may be very knowledgeable in either subject aren't not great writers, or they may be expected written but not completed flaws in the language of the document. The language review addresses those type of problem by focusing on language issue that make the document easier for the user to read and understand. Some of the problems that may occur within the document are poor sentence structure, grammar, organization, clarity, and spelling. Section 1.2.2 items to invent. Spelling. Spelling should conform to a standard English spelling of items. For words that are new to the language and not yet standardized, for example, technical Linux technology that is generally accepted in the community follow the most common spelling for the term. Grammar. From the purpose of the grammar should address such issues. Standards for subject or verb agreement, pronoun or antecedent agreement. It is from exam to will need to see several parameters in the figure file to make it complete correct. One you choose to set make a big difference. Use of capital. The document title and the section handling may follow one of the two conversations, but must be consist throughout. Title may either capitalize only the first word or may capitalize each word. Clarify. Judgments of clarify are something difficult to make. Once successfully strategy in evaluating clarity is asked in the question, if I did not already know this information, would the equivalence may care for the document? If it is confused to you and you already generally understand what the authority is trying to say, then there is a good chance that the explanation is really confused for someone reading the document from the first time. If you run the across this institution and you don't really know organization, in some case the document would really benefit from a different structure. You should address those issues when they interface with the understanding of the information within the document. If a document gives background information after a procedure has been performed, this may well be too late for the reader to fully consider the information he or she needs before performing the task. Look for documentation organizations that may confuse or mislead the reader. Those will be the type of issue you want to address. Once those are identified, it may be worthwhile to let the authority know you rational and discuss major change with him or he. Sentence structure. To some extent, sentence structure issues are discussed in the grammar section. However, there are some additional issues that are not generally incorrectly but do interface with the reader. Comparison of the material. One of the most notable of those is strike proportion phases. Strike proportion phases became a problem when the document readability suffered because it became less and less clear what the subject and action of the sentence are. In some cases, more precise descriptors are needed, or sentences need to be changed from one long sentence that is hard to compare to or three more easily read sentences readable. These are in what subject, what passes for failure readable material to one person may be confused to someone else. Because this is a value judgment, you should be cautioned when marketing up unauthorized work for readable. Realize when basing a judgment on readily, you may be deal with performance of style. In evaluate readable, you must consider whether one or not way the document is written truly interface with the reader understand of the information. If the answer you came up with is not, but it is doesn't sound like I think it should, then you should probably not rewrite the text to make it sound better to you. The title should be in proper title case. The general principle for this is that all words are capitalized in a title except proportion and article. An article will be capitalized if it is the first word in the title. Data formats. Dates should be in standard ISO format, which is www.mmdd. Definition of acronyms or slang terminology and language within the realm of computer technology change rapidly. In reviewing documents, you may find that many of the items that are being discussed are not valid words in any directory or technical reference that you are familiar with. Terms that are less familiar should be defined entirely following the first sentence of the term. Slide should be replaced with more compound terminology in the slang will causes the reader to be confused by the connotation or denotation of them. Latin abbreviation. Avoid using abbreviation. Example TA and other, ET and so on and E. This is should always use the English equivalent. You can make up DocBook XML version, PDF, CHML, compliant HTML help. The CHM file type is primarily accessed with HTML by Microsoft Corporation. Section 1.2.3 required metadata. The following elements are all required. Title. Every document must contain a short descriptive title. It should be reasonable, unique. Check other documents in the collection to make sure your document title is distinct for all other documents. Abstract. A short description of your document must be included in the abstract. This description is the typical one or two sentences in length. Authorize. Every document should have a author. If you are multiple authorized, you may use authorized group. If the document you prepared by an authorized within not individual authorized, please use authorized good group instead. So every new document must go through the review process and have a technical language and metadata markup review editor list update. The date of publishing for the document, the data should be in the ISO standard of www.mmdd. Copyright authorized will always retain the copyright to any document, although it is not really in a copyright notice may be included in a last. However, it always requires review history. A summary of version should be included in the document. The ideal release of a document should be marked up a version 1.0. Subsequent update should increment the version number approximately. The performance format is major, minor, big file, where each section is integrated. Some authors use a complex style version, for example 1.4 per 3, and some includes additional information from example 1.3 update. This is acceptable but not encouraged. The most important thing is that we have a version number so we know which version we are dealing with. Once a document go through review, it should advance in minor or big version number depending on the amount of change introduced. License and legal notices. A license is required. Email, acknowledge, and other credits. View fewer if any documents are written only by one person. It is good for to talk those who help you with either the written search, testing, or reviewing of your document. If someone added markup or translate your document to another language, they should always be given credit.